Well, Indiana picks up maybe its biggest win yet tonight against Sparty here in Assembly Hall, 67-63 the final. Connor Hines here with Sam Neidermann for the Hoosier Network. And Sam, wherever you look tonight, Joey Brunk was making an impact.
Hey, he was an animal tonight. Joey Brunk led the charge for Indiana up front, battled in the paint, played with a ton of heart, had a team-high 14 points, and set the tone in this thing early. I think he had the first 6 points out of IU's 8 or 12. He was really good at establishing his presence in the post, was good early and then finished late, had 2 huge baskets down the stretch. And that's awesome for Indiana to be able to feed the post, trust their interior game plan that they rolled with tonight and took it to Michigan State. They were able to execute it down the stretch, and Brunk's passion and chip on his shoulder really was prominent.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've talked so much about the guard play on this Indiana team, and don't think a guard is really ready to step up yet, but Indiana got it done tonight in a bit of a different way. 10 different Hoosiers scoring, and in past this has been a game of runs for Indiana where they aren't necessarily able to break the other team's runs. Tonight, a bit of a difference maker because Trace Jackson-Davis was there pretty consistently, and everyone really chipped in to get this team win over Michigan State tonight. And they played lockdown defense on Cassius Winston and the like as well, so an overall good team win. And that really brings us to what's next for this Indiana team, Sam, because they're continuing to groove, they're continuing to make incremental progress. They're not where they want to be, certainly, but Archie Miller's 3-0 now against Tom Izzo, at least in the last 2 seasons. Indiana's making progress, and they're competing in the Big Ten.
Yeah, the big picture of tonight's win is Indiana is in prime position to compete in the league. They're 5-3 in the Big Ten. Not too many teams can say they're 2 games above 500 in this league. B, they have a chance to go to the NCAA tournament. They have 3 great resume wins at home against Ohio State, Florida State, and now Michigan State. And C, you look at the long-term viability of Archie Miller's project here in Bloomington. You just said it, Connor. He's won 3 consecutive games against Tom Izzo, who is the coach of this league, the face of this league, the modern Bob Knight of this league, who's had a great tenure and has done so much across the entire game of college basketball. He's laid down the blueprint of how to compete and win in this conference over the last 20 years. And Archie Miller is taking that same blueprint and shoving it right back at him and beating him with it. It's kind of like an Alabama-Georgia dynamic in football, where you have the Crimson Tide's dynasty and then Kirby Smart tries to make it 2.0 with the Dogs, and he's shown degrees of that, even though they haven't gotten the win against him, come very close on big stages multiple times. That's neither here nor there, but here tonight, Indiana was able to assert themselves again over Michigan State by beating them at their own game, beating them on the glass, beating them in the paint on the interior. Guys like Cassius Winston were funneled and contained in the middle portions of this game. That was a big thing, and Indiana able to put themselves on par with Michigan State and then go that next level up again.
Indiana's slowly getting its swagger back, and it's certainly exciting to see here at Assembly Hall. That only continues tonight with a big win over Michigan State. For Sam, I'm Connor. We'll see you guys Sunday when Indiana takes on Maryland right here inside Assembly Hall.